I watched the brand new Day trailer 50 times. Here's what everyone missed. You know what shot broke me? Not the organic webbing, not the black eyes, not even Spider-Man snapping a katana in half with nothing but web. It was Peter Parker leaning against a washing machine, alone, bruised, in a crappy apartment, holding the key to the city, and there's nobody there to celebrate with him. That's the shot. That's the whole movie right there. And I think most people scrolled past it to get to the cool action. So today, we're going back, frame by frame, theory by theory, because I genuinely believe Spider-Man Brand New Day might be the most important Spider-Man film ever made. Not the flashiest, not the biggest, the most important. Let me show you why. 4 years have passed since No Way Home, and Peter Parker is still alone. MJ has a new boyfriend. Ned has glasses and floral shirts and a whole new life. They went to MIT, graduated, came back to New York, and Peter watched all of it from a distance. On Instagram, upside down on a crane at 2 a.m. Think about that for a second. The guy who saved the multiverse is checking his ex-girlfriend's Instagram reels at midnight. And his profile picture? Default icon, no photo, no identity. That's not just sad writing. That's intentional storytelling. Peter Parker has stopped existing as a person. He's only Spider-Man now. And here's the terrifying part. His body is starting to agree with that choice. Everyone's calling it Man-Spider. Some are calling it the other. The truth is probably somewhere in between, and it's more metaphorically rich than either. Peter has buried his human side so completely that his spider DNA is literally taking over. His eyes are going black. He's waking up inside web cocoons he built in his sleep. He's trying to thwip without his web shooters, and then looking genuinely shocked when organic webbing fires out anyway. The mechanical web shooters are gone. And yes, I know that's controversial, but think about what that actually means for the story. Peter built those shooters himself. They were the symbol of his genius, his DIY spirit, his humanity. The fact that they're being replaced by something biological, something he can't control, something that's happening to him rather than something he made, that's the whole arc of the movie in one visual detail. He's losing control of who he is. The cocoon shot is the key. He wakes up wrapped in web he doesn't remember making, and he has no idea how it got there. That's not a superpower upgrade. That's a horror movie moment. And I love that this film is treating it that way. Now, is this Man-Spider? Is it the other? Personally, I think they're merging both. Take the other's power upgrades, add the visual horror of Man-Spider's transformation, and wrap it in a story about a guy who forgot how to be human. That's not a comic book plot. That's a character study. Let's be real. On paper, this movie has too many villains. Scorpion, Punisher, The Hand, Tarantula, Boomerang, Tombstone, Sadie Sink's mystery character, Bruce Banner potentially going Savage Hulk. Whatever Keith David is doing, Spider-Man, 3 Amazing Spider-Man 2. We've been here before, and those movies collapsed under their own weight. But here's why I think Brand New Day might actually pull it off, and it comes down to one word: function. Scorpion isn't the main villain. He's a weapon. Someone armed him, sent him at Peter, and I'm betting that someone is Tombstone, the crime boss who the synopsis says is behind a strange wave of criminal activity hitting New York. Scorpion's job is to weaken Peter, not defeat him. Punisher isn't a villain at all. He's an obstacle who becomes an unlikely ally. The van scene? They're already bickering like they've dealt with each other before. Frank's annoyed, Peter's annoyed, and yet they're clearly going after the same thing. The Hand? They want Peter as a host, as a vessel, which ties directly into the mutation storyline. And that brings us to the actual villain, which takes a bit to explain. Forget Man-Spider being the main threat. Forget Jean Grey being the one controlling people in those possession scenes. Based on everything in this trailer and the leaks circulating, here's what I think is actually happening. The Jackal, Miles Warren. He's created a genetic virus that allows him to jump between bodies. The people we see being possessed in the trailer, the old woman driving the tank, the guard, the DODC agent, that's not telepathy. That's Jackal hopping hosts. His goal? He's dying. He wants a permanent, powerful host. And he's using Tombstone to get the Hand on his side, convincing them he's the beast from their ancient mythology, a powerful entity seeking a worthy body. Spider-Man gets infected by the virus, probably through Scorpion's venom sting, but instead of giving Jackal control, Peter's unique spider DNA reacts differently. The virus mutates inside him. Organic webbing, heightened senses, black eyes. The cocoon. Jackal can't control him, so he wants to weaken him. And that's where every single villain in this movie suddenly has a purpose. The Hand weakens him spiritually. Scorpion weakens him physically. The mutation weakens him biologically. It all feeds the same machine. And Peter, pushed to his limit, barely holding on to his humanity, has to decide whether to let himself die to kill the parasite inside him. That's not a crowded villain story. That's one villain with a dozen arms. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Sadie Sink, the jacket, the telepathic possession scenes, the DODC facility that looks like a teenager's bedroom turned prison, the combat boots on set photos. I think she's Jean Grey, and I think introducing Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie before the X-Men even have their own film is either the smartest or most chaotic thing Marvel has ever done. Here's why it works. Jean's powers have only recently manifested. She's not the powerful, confident Jean we know from the comics. She's young, on the run, terrified of what she can do, in a world where there's no Professor Xavier to guide her. She's not controlling those people in the trailer. That's Jackal. But Jean is trying to escape DODC, who've locked her up because they think she's responsible. The Punisher, before fully understanding the situation, helped deliver her to William Metzger at DODC. Now he feels responsible. That's his arc. And here's the part that genuinely excites me. At the end of this movie, Jean Grey might be the only person who knows Peter Parker's full truth. His identity, his history, his letter to MJ. All of it. And if she can give MJ and Ned their memories back, that's not just a plot device. That's the beginning of something much larger. Because Jean Grey showing up here isn't just a cameo. She's a bridge to the X-Men, to Secret Wars, to whatever Marvel is building next.